Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Samp and Chance. I'm your host, Bobby Sampson. Seattle Mariners on my head. We have a week away. I will not wear Cubs gear because that's just my superstition. Mr. Professor Bear is my guest today. Chance Michaels is busy, so I have brought in the best man that I know that I want to sit beside and talk shit. Professor Bear, how are you, brother?
Man, to be truthful, I'm feeling so much better. I
Awesome.
was able to get some stuff off my chest,
Yes.
and I'm feeling better about it. And hopefully, we can talk about it a little more
No, let's
because
do it. Let's do it. But first things first, do you have a stake in these playoffs?
no, I
I'm a
don't.
baseball guy.
I felt out of love with baseball because my passion with football and
Sure.
basketball, but I still keep up with it. I just don't follow it as much as I used to.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I think I'm more of a baseball guy than I am a football guy these days.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I don't know if it's just age that's caught up with me and stuff. Like I used to be a walking encyclopedia for sports stats. I could tell you every quarterback, every hockey player, everything that you wanted to know. And this was before the internet, right? So this,
Right.
true testament to memory and everything. I think with me, the fandom with baseball comes from my fandom with cricket.
Oh, okay.
Okay, go figure. So me being a Canadian, but 99% of my family lives in the UK. So growing up as a kid, I would spend most of my summers in the UK. And what do they do there? They play cricket.
Cricket. Right.
So I got into cricket. I started to follow cricket. I started to get into it. And then I started to see baseball is basically a byproduct of cricket. Right? It is ultimately when the British came here and the revolution happened, I guess they said we don't want to do this. So they looked at rounders, which is closely more related to baseball, and they took the elements of that. So I love baseball. I always have because I look at it more of a scientific kind of chess kind of game.
Right.
You're
Now I definitely get that
right. The guys
perspective.
can still hit the ball, this and that, but you still can't predict which way the ball's going to go. You can't predict. So that's the science, right? The technique.
Right.
I've always loved the fact that they say, okay, a right-handed pitcher going against a left-hander batsman, what are the odds of this and this? So I love all that. So baseball playoffs are awesome. This year in particular is very special because not only are my Cubs in, who are my number one, but my local team, I'll call them my local team, my Mariners, we got the bye. So it's very rare to have both your teams in the playoffs.
No, I definitely understand that one too.
But that being said, there, I also feel it's very taxing. I almost wonder, is it worth having your teams in the playoffs? Because I'm watching the Cubs yesterday, and I was getting angry. Not angry, but I was getting tense because I'm like, come on, you're better than this. Like when you don't have a horse in the race, it's easy to watch people mess up, right?
Yeah, and I definitely agree with you. I was watching. I'm a big Alabama fan,
Yeah,
so I was watching the Georgia Alabama game,
sure.
and I think I was watching that. I was watching NXT, and I was watching something else. I was trying to keep my watch all three,
Right.
and I realized that with football and my love of it and everything, I and I take it of me getting older and realizing it's really not worth it. I don't get up as upset as I used to. I don't take it as serious as I used to.
No,
It's
no.
it's a great thing if they win. If they don't, okay, we got next year or whatever.
Hey,
But
I get that completely. I'm the same way in a lot of ways, but I don't know, man. I think just as I've gotten older, Bear, I'm more of an individual sports guy. Like I do like my sports and stuff like that, like team sports. But honestly, I
right,
think this is where it comes down to me now. It's like I'm about that individual effort. I think you come to a point where you can't, for me personally, anyways, I can't accept the fact that someone says, well, you can't blame one individual for a loss on a team. It's a team effort,
right,
right? Whereas when you look at a professional wrestler or a professional boxer or an MMA combat fighter, you have your team, but everything's up to you at the end of the day. Same with tennis, same with golf,
yes, yes,
right? which is why I think I'm drawn more to that now as I'm getting older. But let's talk about wrestling now. This is what we do. First and foremost, everybody, I am Samson. He is Professor Bear. We are part of the WSN network. WSN, what an amazing place to go to, man. You can find it on Ruko. You can find us on Apple TV. You can go to the webpage. Just type in Wrestling Society Network. That's all you got to do. Google will take you everywhere you need to go. Sorry. You know, Patreon. That's amazing. Twitch for some of the stuff that's out there as well. So there's no shortage of content. There's no shortage of things to see on the website. So guys, there's no excuse. Just go check it out. WSN is the place to go. Also, you can find us individually on our own websites as well. So again, Google Snap and Chance, Google Professor Bear, Google Wrestling Society Network. Really, everything will be right there in front of you. Okay, that being said, let's talk about wrestling and what's going on these days and what's making headlines potentially. I want to start with Vince Russo. Now, I heard, and I haven't seen most of it yet, but I heard that you had some stuff that you wanted to get off your chest with Vince Russo and some of the things that he's been saying. So we'll get to that. I want to get to that. But let me ask you a question, okay?
Yeah.
Very simply put, now I'm not taking a shot at him in any way whatsoever, but what did Vince Russo actually do to gain the name recognition that he did? Because I ask this because at the time that he was making creative decisions, everything still had to go through Vince. Anything that happened on that program that Vince Russo did was okayed by Vince. If Vince didn't like the idea, it didn't happen. The reason I say that is because we saw very evidently when he went to WCW and he didn't have a Vince that he had to run stuff by, that company just went further and further and further into despair. Is that fair of me to say, Ben?
No, that is perfect. I've looked at his career, especially here lately, and you did not tell any lie. You didn't disparage him. It's the truth. Um, I guess I think that a lot of people want to give him credit because of his outside thinking that brought the attitude there. And you can't deny that it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, after all said and done, it was either Vince approved it or didn't. McMahon, it was his show. It was going to be run his way. So Vince Russo got a reputation for being just quick and could do things, and turned out that he has decent ideals, but he needed somebody to help him either set it right, to give him a balance. That's probably the best word I could use, a balance. So after that, he went to TNA, and they had their ups and downs with him. Then he got let go there. Then he got brought back. So I won't try to take anything away from him as far as what he's done for the wrestling business. But after WCW, he became more of a leech. I think that's the perfect word, a leech, because he leached off of his reputations. And people thought he could do certain things, and come to find out he couldn't.
Well, it kind of reminds me of Monet, Mercedes. Okay, and I take nothing away from her, but you really could see, and this is what the WWE machine is, in my opinion, even with Vince gone. You can really see what talent is lacking and what talent needs to work on when they actually leave, because WWE protects you so well. They
Yeah.
highlight the things that you do so well that they don't let you really go into the waters of the things that you can't do. Mercedes, we saw that when she left and when she first emerged on the indie scene. And, again, tell me if I'm wrong, Bear. I mean, this is just my opinion, right? But when
Right.
we looked at Mercedes when she first came back, after her time off and everything, her injuries, you could tell the girl is horrible on the mic, right? Her in-ring stuff wasn't that great. Now that she's being left to her own devices, a year and a half later, I'm completely opposite of what I just said. Her mic work is much better and her in-ring work is so much better. It's amazing to watch. I enjoy watching her matches. In fact, I think the last year we gave her female match of the year, right? In our year end review, sort of a deal. So that's just a testament that shows like Jinder Mahal, Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes. They all had to leave the company in order to become better wrestlers and better entertainers before they came back. So again, with Vince Russo, this guy got exposed, in my opinion, because without Vince running everything behind him, like Vince had the leash, Vince controlled him.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So, yes, a lot of credit is due to Mr. Vince Russo for what he's done, but I think the brother's just all about the clickbait now. He to me, honestly, and this is gonna probably make my partner, Mr. Michaels, a little, cringe because of what I'm about to say. But dude, this guy's like a right-wing wrestling commentator.
So it is so funny you say
Is that fair?
That is so fair. Okay. So fair.
And that's nothing against the left or the right. I'm just saying I don't know how else to describe them.
No, you put it perfectly. And I would say this, and this is what ticked me off and what got me going about Vince Russo. Now, we talked about how WrestlePalooza wasn't that great of a thing. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. No shade to them. That it happens in wrestling.
Dude, every show can't be a gem.
Exactly. So then they had the Tiffany, Stratton, Nia Jax, Jay Cargill match as the main event for SmackDown. Now that match was supposed to be on WrestlePalooza, but Tiffany got hurt, and they wanted to make sure she was okay.
Yeah.
So now I can tell you this too. I personally did not see the match.
Okay.
But I heard all the comments afterwards of how people botched, it was terrible, and everything else. Well,
honestly, the match itself was okay. That ending was questionable. I will give it that. All right. So basically, what happened, Bear, if I may, sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
We had a moment there where Jade got thrown out of the ring, so she was eliminated. Okay, and Tiffany, for whatever reason, she pinned her the first time, and I think the referee or not, whoever, basically the arm didn't come up fast enough. Okay, so that was a definite botch. You don't even have to be a casual fan could have seen that. That's what made it so bad, right? You and I, and most of the people on the Wrestling Society Network, I know this for a fact. We can watch a match and we'll find botches throughout the whole match that most people won't see.
Exactly.
Right? There's botches consistently in matches. We just don't see them because of the level of how good these guys are. Right? This shows me again, and I've said this many times before. Tiffany's great, but she's still green. And this is coming up, and Nia, as good as everyone says she is, she still has flubs, man.
Yeah.
Like you had 3 girls in that ring who just, I don't know, what can I say? Like I take nothing away from them.
Who's the veteran?
The veteran, in my opinion, would have been Nia.
Yes, and that's the thing. She's the veteran, but she still has moments where she messes up. Again, everybody does it. So that's fine. Now, again, like you said, with that particular flub, it was so obvious. Even the casual fans were like, "Hey,
you can't even edit that flub. That's the problem with it. That was the issue. You couldn't edit it because they tried to do it again the second time. You can't cut that out, right? This is why
Right.
I say, and I come back to this point. We talked about this last week on the show with us. The importance of house shows is showing up in these moments. If there's the argument why house shows should be happening, right
And
there.
and here's the funny part with you saying that. They had this match, all three of them, when they were overseas doing the
European
the
tour.
the Paris thing
Yeah, the Clash of Paris.
review. They had this match and they've done it a few times. So to your credit, you're 100% right. You need to practice it. But again, even with practice, we make mistakes.
Well, I
No
get that
problem.
completely, but the house shows, we're starting to see this now, Bear. Like, I mean, we're shifting
No,
gears here. Look, since they pulled the house shows, we're starting to see this happening in the live product. Like, I mean, house shows were so important because house shows are sometimes more fun growing up as a kid than the actual Raw or SmackDown were because they were structured. They had to be done a certain way, right? Like
right,
house shows are the place where you would see the Undertaker dance with the New Day. I'm not saying that happened ever,
right.
but that's where it would happen.
I remember a house show where Eddie Guerrero, it was Eddie and Ray,
Yeah,
were teaming up against. I can't remember who they were teaming up against, but Eddie and Ray were the tag team champs, and they were beating the crap out of Ray.
yeah.
Well, Eddie kept trying to get the tag, and the ref's like, "No, you got to hold the tag rope. You got to be holding the tag rope." So Eddie took the tag rope and tied it to the ring, and he went halfway down, and the ref's like, "You can't do it." He's like, "But I'm holding the tag rope." Those, like you said, those things were amazing, and I love that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, on Monday, why did they take the tag ropes off? Like, did you notice that? If you go back and look at Raw before the match started, they took those ropes off. The referee had both the tag ropes in his hand. And I don't know what he did with them. See, these are the little things that I pick up on. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, that's just that level of it. But this is why house shows are so important. I mean, the other aspect of it that I feel that, why WWE is hemorrhaging, as they say, which I don't understand. Merch sales are up and everything is up. But then I realized it was the house shows that Vince ran that paid for SmackDown and Raw. Or the production. If AEW is paying $1 million for Dynamite, what is WWE paying for Raw and SmackDown? It's got to be in the upwards of 2 to 3 million,
Oh yeah,
right? And
easily.
that includes the rigging, that includes the pyro, that includes the screen, that includes the crew to build the set up, to do all that work. When you do
And the
house shows,
fireworks.
right? When you do the house shows, you're basically just taking from everyone else. Like when they come to Vancouver, they probably go through a local guy or a local promotion to get a ring,
Yeah.
right? It's not like they travel with these rings. They pick up rings from wherever they go. In Tennessee, they probably go to Glenn Jacobs and Kane and those guys and Pritchard's promotion and school and get rings, right? So house shows are essential. They open the door for the small communities that can't get to shows. They open the door for people to come in and get used to the product. I mean, they're house shows are a huge part of professional wrestling, and by taking them away, we're seeing the work now
And
across the board.
with that being said, that's why you see more injuries
Yeah.
because guys and girls don't get a chance to practice and do it to get their body consistently used to it.
Hey man, it's look, we talk about it in football, we talk about it in baseball. It's about cadence and reps.
Muscle
You're not
memory.
muscle memory. You're not getting enough reps in, right? And I get it. These guys are top level athletes. They know what they're doing, but there's something to be said about chemistry. And a lot of that, I mean, because it's a dance. Like I equate wrestling to a dance
Yeah.
between two people. Maybe it's a mosh pit dance or something, right? But the reality of it is it's a dance between two people. And if you're not in tune, if you're not in sync, you're gonna step on each other. And we're getting that a lot more.
and I think that is the perfect way to get back into that three-way match
Yeah,
because they, like you said, again, it was just little flubs, this and that. Well, again, it happens.
yeah.
So okay, I of course I don't necessarily have a problem with that. Certain people like Nia Jax, they love to point out her mistakes. And they I don't know why so much they love messing with Nia about that, but they do.
I think
So
Naya.
okay,
I think the problem with Naya, in my opinion, is the fact that she doesn't know her own strength and power sometimes, I feel.
she don't pull. She
She don't
doesn't
pull,
pull her
and
stuff
she's
out.
unapologetic about what she does.
Right.
And I'm not saying she has to sit here and apologize, but at least
Well,
be
I
better.
think it's like this too, because with she doesn't catch herself like she should, and things happen. And I think a lot of times that we don't get to see it and that backstage because we see the mess up, we expect to see the apology. And she leans into her character more and it pisses people off.
But we also live in a generation where people are easily pissed off. I hate
Yeah,
to say
that's
it.
true.
I'm sorry,
No, you're right.
right?
So
Like, I mean, everyone is just too easily offended, and everyone is too easy. Like, dude, honestly, I'm not left. I'm not right. I'm in the middle of it all. Like, and there's a bunch of us who are sitting here in the middle of it all, and we're not woke, but we're not conservative either.
and that to me is the issue because I never try to mix politics or religion into wrestling.
Yeah.
It's wrestling. Wrestling is a whole different
Hey,
genre.
absolutely.
Don't mix it. And I
No.
guess that's where had the problem with Vince
Yeah.
Russo. He decided again, it was a mess up. They messed up. Cool.
Yeah.
And you can talk about that, no problem. But he made the apparently, and I'm going to say apparently because I hadn't seen it. I don't know if it was on his show or not, which I think it was. But what he said was apparently he said that you can tell she was probably a DEI hire and they need to fire her.
Okay, so for the fans and for myself, help me understand, what does DEI mean?
So the DEI was where they would give minorities a chance to get hired. They got a chance to be closer to the top when they look at applications and things.
Oh, affirmative action.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. So that's the new
So,
word for it.
so here's where I like lost my mind.
Who's the
He said,
DEI in this case? Was it Jade or
well, she
Naya?
see the hold on one second. The referee, because I made notes. That's how ticked off I was. I made notes to be make sure I was factual and
Okay.
not getting stuff messed up. But the referee is a black is African American young lady. Her
Yeah.
name is Daphne LaShawn.
Yeah, yes, Stephanie. I remember she actually made headlines a couple of weeks ago where people were giving her flack for saying something or the other about I don't know if someone had passed away in her family or something, but they were giving her heat over that for some of the comments she made. I always thought she was one of the Funkasauruses.
No, she wouldn't.
Okay, but she did look like it, right? She looked like
Right. She looks like the I can't think of the young lady's name, but
not
they have a
the
lot
one
of
beside
similarities.
Naomi.
Right. They have a lot of similarities. So that ticked me off
Yeah,
because it's like, okay, two things. One, why does she has to be a DI hire? What
like
difference does she make how she got into the business? And it's kind of funny that she is the first African American full-time referee that I
hey,
didn't know. I
Yeah.
didn't know, and I didn't care
Well,
because I don't care.
but that's the thing. I don't look at that kind of stuff either, Bear. And that's why I don't look at dirt sheets. That's why I don't look at comments, right? I don't read any of that stuff because none of it applies to me. Because when I see people, I just see people,
Exactly.
right?
I That's
Like
it.
if I describe somebody, if you're black, I'm gonna say, yeah, he's a black guy. How
Right.
else am I supposed to describe you,
Exactly.
right? I'm a
I
brown
didn't
guy,
have I don't have a problem with that.
right?
But then he said that and said she deserves to be fired. And I'm
Yeah,
and I'm thinking, how many different referees in this business have screwed up? And I've never heard Russo holler they need to be fired.
I
Okay,
think Vince is basically, and I say this honestly, I think all the man's looking for is clicks. He's looking
yes,
for that clickbait because let's be honest, man. He has a black man as his co-host and coach.
and that's why when I first went off, I'm not going to tell you no lie.
Now,
I went stupid ballistic.
is Coach the Brian Gumble of professional wrestling, the whitest black guy? Like, I mean,
Well, here's the thing. I don't know anything about his show because I never watched it. I've
right.
never watched his
And
podcast.
he did make those comments because Chance sent me the clip.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So um I never watched his podcast. Don't care to watch his podcast because I'm not a fan. That's cool, you know. But you saying that the first thing, and with the political climate the way it is, why would you say something that ignorant? Even if you believe it, why would you say that? Because right there, you have successfully cut out half of your fan base.
Yeah, but I don't even think he attracted that half of the fan base, bro.
Well,
Honestly, I don't think he
no,
did.
no, and right, but here's my thing. Even if he didn't, you're dividing yourself. You're keeping yourself down.
Yes,
And
but
it,
by saying
and
it,
and if that his fan base are more leaning left, and I mean right, left, hell, I don't know, don't care. But if that's your fan base, that's fine. And if you're trying to reach out to them to make them happy, oh, that's fine. This is your show. But you have to be careful on what you say because I don't, Zach, they tell me that the internet is a small place. That's what I hear.
dude,
that stuff can get around.
it's huge. It's like the world, okay? The world seems like a big space. It seems like a big place in the world, but man, if you really want to be humbled, you go back to 1997 and take a look at that picture that Hubble telescope took of the planet as it was leaving the universe, and you see we're just a speck of dust in the realm of everything.
Exactly.
I'm not trying to be pessimistic or anything, but at any given moment, this can be all gone
Yeah,
in an instant, right? So
definitely.
I mean, I just think, look, Bear, I'm not a political guy. I've always stated that, you know what I mean? I've never
Right.
been
Yes. Yes.
in
And
that
I
sense.
respect you for that.
And because I just don't look, gambling and politics are two things I never got into. Okay. Why? Because I can't control gambling. I have no control over it. And politics, I have no control over it. I can vote for who I believe is right. And I just have to sit back and see what they do
Right.
and make judgments in life accordingly. Public
Exactly.
stuff, though, it's annoying now. It's getting annoying to the point because look, dude, honestly, he did that. He said that knowing that the people who don't watch his show are going to tune in because they're going to try to get any fodder they can. Neither side is good, in my opinion. Okay.
Right.
I'm gonna be really honest with you from a perspective of just a guy in the middle. The stuff that unfortunately happened to that Charlie Kirk fella. Okay, I don't condone that. I think it's a horrible thing. You just left two kids without their father. Okay. I'm not talking about the things he talks about or anything. I'm just looking at the human aspect of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No problem with that
And
whatsoever.
that was just a horrible thing that happened to the guy. The fact that bothers me is the people that are supposed to have empathy and the people that are supposed to have a sense of, oh, if we're looking at good guy, bad guy, the face and the heel. Well, you know what? That one side turned into heels over this. How can you respect that group for the way they treated that situation? That's a human life. So when it starts to come into the world of wrestling, and we saw this start in the beginning of the year with Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
Okay, and I honestly look, he said what he said.
Yeah.
He did what he did. I get that.
Yeah.
I'm not condoning it. I'm not putting him on any kind of stone. But I've always, and before we talked here today, I said I'm a huge music fan. This whole arm is all about music to me. Everything
Right.
I am represented on this one arm. If I die, you can just look at my arm, and if you don't know me, oh, okay, this is who he is, right? Sort of a deal.
Right.
And what I loved about wrestling, what I loved about sport in general, that music and wrestling and sport in general were those places, and you touched on it a little bit earlier. Those were the places that we could go where no denomination, no political affiliation, no religious connotation. I'm saying Asian a lot, eh?
Yeah.
All these Asians didn't exist. I've been to shows. I've been to.
I'm
Sorry,
sorry to interrupt.
I've been to concerts with 100,000 people. Okay, I don't get to go to many shows as much as I used to, but man, I tell you what, Bear, when in my younger days, I would go to concerts, at least 4 to 5 concerts a week, because that's where I was happiest.
Right.
You put me in a room with 15 people, I'll be the quietest man in the corner, regardless of the fact that I can talk for hours on a microphone the way I am right now. But you put me in a stadium of 100,000 people, and I am free as a bird, man. Right?
Very understandable. And I guess that's where it took me down a dark road with what he said. He was saying it to troll.
Yeah.
He was saying it to please his fan base.
Yeah.
Where it ticked me off is, why would you add that to an already explosive situation?
Because he wants those clicks.
Yeah.
It just really comes down to it's clickbait.
Right. But again,
We're talking about it.
The first thing I did, I called him a racist. Now, I have to give a shout out to Amy Berman, because I put some stuff on our board on Facebook.
Sure.
And Amy, she looks out for us. She checks people's whatever they put and will deny it if it's too negative. She was going to deny me, but she realized it was me. She's like, oh, I better not deny him.
Yeah, I saw that thread.
So I had to come back, and she helped me think. When I talked to all the guys and girls in the group, it made me calm down and think. And I was like, you know what? He's not a racist, because just because you make one comment doesn't make you a racist. So I had to think a little more on it. I was like, well, I know what he did for Booker T in the WCW days. I know he's not an ignorant man. He may act ignorant, he may say ignorant things, but he's not ignorant. So I was
That's
like,
his
okay.
Character, though. How many? How do you know anyone who says bro as much as he does?
Exactly.
It's character work, right?
Oh, right. So I was like, okay, he's just trolling and want to get his numbers up and get people to talk about him and stuff, and he's willing to do whatever.
With all due respect, I always looked at him as Brooklyn Brawler light.
I wouldn't even insult the Brooklyn brawler
No,
like
no,
that.
meaning wise, the way he dressed in the baseball jerseys and everything else, like
Right.
it's just I don't know why I always got the impression he was at that New York version of the Brooklyn Brawler as a booker or something, right? And yeah, you know what? I will agree with you. I don't think he's a racist. I think everything he did was a calculated move. He knew what he was doing. He knew what he was saying. Okay. I mean, you want to pick barbs with a referee? Like, seriously, is business that bad for you, Vince? That you're going after a ref? Like, it's not her fault that Nia didn't get the shoulder up. What is she supposed to do in that situation? If we want to talk about it, let's go back to WrestlePalooza and Drew and Cody match. Now, was the referee supposed to be that far out of the ring?
See?
I'm just saying. I don't know. Like, I mean, where's the line
Exactly.
here? But by all accounts, Drew should have been world champion.
Right.
Okay,
And
but so was that a flub? Was that a wrong? Because the way he came back into the ring, it looked awkward.
yeah,
Right? Go back and look at it. The way he was standing out there, he was so far outside of the ring. He's like, oh crap. And he ran back as fast as he could to make the count. The man wasn't even injured. He wasn't down on his knees. He just escaped the ring. I've never seen that before.
well, and think about what, I'm gonna talk about one of the biggest mistakes in wrestling history. Let's talk about Hogan and Sting, and when Tommy Young made the 3 count.
Yeah.
That was he wasn't supposed to.
No.
He knew he wasn't supposed to, but he mistakenly did.
Yeah.
And again, mistakes happen. Again, I have no problem with that. I don't have a problem with people because we do this. This is what we do. We talk about wrestling, who makes mistakes, who do whatever, this, that, and other. Okay. Again, I'm okay with that. But to bring in those things to irritate, to get your numbers up, is very stupid. Look, you're being divisive, and you're adding something into what we love for no reason.
Well, it's just the world, man. It's a world we live in. Like, look, you and I think a lot of our, our partners and our brothers and sisters in this network that we're in, we could get bots. We can do all these things to get our numbers up like nobody's business, but we're all doing it the right way with hard work and dedication. We're plowing the field. We're planting the seeds, right? Like there's so many ways that we can up our numbers. It's so easy. AI has made it virtually easy for us. I am the last of the people that have not used AI yet. I've not used AI for anything. Everything I do is natural because I believe in my ability, right? Maybe I'm old, but I still have a fucking map in my car, man. I don't use the GPS.
Again, and I understand that, and I love that.
My father taught me how to parallel park just using my rearview mirror and my side mirror.
Right, I got that too.
And I still do that, even though I have that backup camera. I don't use it.
And I don't fault people who do it.
No. I get it. If it's there, use it.
No. And my thing is, and I guess this is what sent me over the edge, is like, you're being divisive. Now you're gonna add more fuel to the fire.
Well, the fact that we're talking about it, Bear.
Exactly.
It's right there.
So then,
succeeded.
So I thought about it, and yesterday I was gonna do my show. My guest unfortunately was sick, so I was gonna cancel it. That's what I usually do. I don't. And then I got to thinking, man, let me talk about some stuff on my mind. And I talked about it, and I brought up Russo, and I was like, you should be ashamed of yourself for not even for what you said, for adding more crap in the business that has provided you a great living, provided your family a great living.
Yeah.
You should, if you were any true man, you would apologize to her, whether you believe what you said or not. Apologize to her for even having that comment out there.
Well, look, I don't know I don't know if there's been a
Actually,
retraction or anything like that, so I can't comment on it, but I hope he takes that right the way. But listen, let's move away from Vince Russo because I mean, I think we've said anything we needed to say. Look, his
oh,
contribution.
one
Sorry.
more
Yeah.
thing,
Yes,
and
sir.
then we can go on. Fuck you, Vince Russo. Okay, now I'm good.
Fair enough. Look, I am not taking anything away from Vince Russo. Some of the stuff that he said, I agree with. Some of the stuff he says, I don't agree with. His contributions to the wrestling game, yeah, phenomenal. I mean, but again, let's take it with a grain of salt. If it wasn't Vince there, I don't know if that would have happened. I don't know if that would have played out the way it did. I mean, Vince is the genius behind it all. That's all I'm going to say on that one. And say what you want about Vince. I get that as well. He's polarizing character himself. But wrestling is Vince McMahon, in my opinion. That's my opinion. Okay. He's done a lot of great things for a lot of people that people don't talk about. We're all here to shit on people. And that's what I want to stop doing. Like, nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. We have our quirks. People are only seeing
Exactly.
us on one element and on one level. Okay.
And that's the thing that I love too. And anybody who's ever seen me on anything, I've always said, if you have an issue with me,
Yeah.
you don't have to watch me. Or if you just want to have a conversation, you can put it in the comments. I
Yeah.
have I give out my email. You can send it to me.
No,
We can talk.
but you know what the
I'm
problem
such
is,
a
brother? But here's the problem. The people that have a problem with us, who would have a problem with us, don't want to talk to us because they don't know how to.
well, and I get that
I'm just
too.
saying, man. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest here. We're gonna, straight up, us middle guys, we're probably the most logical. We're probably the most intelligent out of either side in general, because we just have a view of the world the way it actually should be. I think the middle is where everyone is should be, in my opinion.
I do too. And
Right?
I
Ultimately, I hate.
I
I really like to put it this way. I think I've become, with age, a conservative liberal, if that's such a thing.
I love it. I love it.
Right?
And
I'm still very liberal, each to their own. It's like Eddie Murphy said in Delirious. I'm not going to repeat that line again, but if you go back and watch the tennis skit, that's the kind of attitude I have towards people.
uh,
Right?
yeah,
Right? We'll just leave it there. That's the way I look at people. Each to their own, do your thing. I may not agree with it. I may not agree with that
exactly.
style. It may not be my cup of tea. Right? Like, I'm old school, man. Like, I can sit there and watch two girls kiss all day and not have a problem with it. Right? But I still cringe when I see two dudes kiss. But hey,
Yeah,
respect to you guys. If that's what you
it,
want to do, by all
that's what you
means,
do.
be
It,
happy.
it
Be
ain't.
happy.
It's
Right?
not affecting me.
Not at all. It doesn't, just when I'm having dinner, don't do it in front of me. That's all I ask.
Right.
All right.
So let's talk about something that I saw last night too,
Sure.
and that it is fun. I find it funny, and let's talk about the TNA. Uh,
Evasion.
yes, the TNA
NXT.
NXT.
Yeah.
Man, I generally probably would be more excited about it if it seemed a little more evenly even.
Yeah.
And the reason I don't feel like it's even is because it seemed like NXT gets everything. I mean, look at their women's world champion. It's a NXT woman that won the TNA championship.
Yeah. Where did she come from? Like, how did that happen?
Okay, so what happened was um uh Dana Brooke, her name,
Jordan, right?
huh?
I know Dana Brooke got hurt and everything. I'm just trying to figure out how
Well,
Amy Jordan ended up there.
she didn't get hurt. It's something I think that is personal happened in her family, and she
Okay.
has to step away.
Sure, sure.
Okay, so what they did, they had a 20-woman battle royal,
Ah,
and the last two women faced off for the title. And what it was the
Zia Lee,
women,
right?
yeah, and Lee,
Yeah.
they fought, and I can't think of the girl's name. She won, and she's the champion.
Yeah.
again, it to me, I'm the type of old school mentality thinker.
Yeah.
You cannot keep letting your baby faces go down and lose and have them chase for the final boss.
But ironically enough, both the girls in that match were former NXT, well, a current NXT and former NXT.
Yes, WWE women. So okay, that's what I had one of my problems. Then the next problem, as much as I love Trick Williams, Trick is doing such amazing work.
Very
And I'm
quietly.
glad that
People
they
are paying,
let
yeah.
him, instead of sending it up to the main roster,
Yeah.
stay there, do the TNA stuff.
Yeah.
They're doing great stuff, but they're going too long with it. You cannot continuously have your world champion of TNA not being TNA wrestler. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Then they're going to turn around and they're going to do the merging. Both teams take the title, the Hardys and Dark State, next week. Now, in my head, this is what I see going to happen. The Hardys are going to win.
Sure.
Just because it's the Hardys and their name is bigger than Dark State, and it gives that pop of, hey, the Hardys are still doing it after all this time. That's where I have issues with it. Now, again, I'm not saying Dark State should win, and I don't want them to win. I'm okay with it, but it's not because the guys are TNA guys. It's because, hey, they're WWE legends that they're going to win. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Next week, we'll find out if I'm right or wrong.
Yeah.
But everything keeps happening where TNA is losing. They're made to look weak, in my opinion. You got none of them that ever wins. What's the point?
Well, the point is their ratings are up. They're getting better production value for their shows. Like I tuned into Victory Road and I'm like, oh wow. You can see, right? I mean, I'm just looking at the trade-offs here, right? Like who knows how much money they're putting in their pocket? The WWE, TKO, who knows what they're giving them in return for all of this? Because anybody in their right mind running a promotion would not be down with this, obviously, right? I'm not the biggest AEW guy, but I don't see them screwing companies over like this.
Well, and it's funny you bring them up, because the same thing where people were complaining that AEW was doing nothing for TNA when they had their partnership, it seems the same way with WWE.
See, I'll disagree with you, but I think they're doing more for TNA because their viewership is up. And because they're getting that production stuff. And I think we're going to get a climax here. Look, for me, this is going to go one or two ways. We get to see TNA get their revenge.
Yeah.
Or this is just a build up to the fact that WWE is going to pull the trigger and buy these guys.
Yeah, I think it's going to be both.
Yeah.
But and when I say what's the point, I mean everything you said is 100% right, and I know that.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying though is it's lazy booking.
Yeah.
It's been done so many times before.
Yeah.
I don't pay it too much attention.
Yeah, I mean,
but again, I'm just saying from my perspective of it.
Yeah. Well, look,
I don't care. I would not want the TNA title. I'm like, well, why do I want this? Y'all just gonna send one of your WWE guys to stomp me out and make me look bad? And on top of that, you're getting our best people and taking them and putting them on the contract. Jordan Grace.
Yeah.
Say his name and he appears.
Joe Hendry. Yeah.
Henry is going to be WWE in the first of the year. Again, that's why, and like I said, that's why I call myself the new Jim Cornette.
Mm-hmm.
I'm that old guy who don't want kids on his lawn. I
It's like,
complain about it.
I just
And
want to eat a cheeseburger.
exactly. But again, I understand all this, and I'm not stupid. Um, I just see you could do some more creative thoughts behind some of these
But you got to
things.
also look at Jordan Grace and Joe Henry, and they have to, you know, make the choice themselves of where they're going to go, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if
Which
someone's
one would
offering you a
you?
contract, well, aren't you going to take it?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Which one would you do if they're offering? And no disrespect to TNA. Let
No,
let me first say that.
yeah.
Which one would I go with? Would I go with TNA and they offer me $50,000 for 3 years, or would I go with the biggest one that my goal was to get here? They're offering me 80,000. I get to travel. My name is going to be worldwide. This was my goal. Of course, I'm going with that. I would go with that.
Even if you're an NXT guy or girl, okay, and your contract goes up and they don't rehire you, you're still going to make great money on the independents when you walk away because of your association with WWE. Even at the TNA NXT level, that name reaches further than a TNA name. That name still reaches further than an
Exactly.
AEW name, with
So
all due respect.
I get it, and I get it, but it just I guess I'm just tired of lazy booking, and it could be so much more. Like the
Well, then
they're
fingers
about to
need to
do
be
this.
pointed across the board. Fingers need to be pointed against, Michael Higglebottom and
Yeah,
Paul Levesque, right?
yeah. I get
On
that,
the
and
NXT side.
yeah, but and I get that,
And for
but
those who don't know who Michael Higglebottom is, that's one Shawn Michaels.
I get that, but at least they're making it interesting.
They are. But that's
They're
the knock on a lot, like from what I'm hearing on the internet, from what I'm hearing from people around me that talk about it all the time.
mhm.
I'm hearing that everyone's upset with the booking, bad booking, this and that. I get it, man. But no one's ever going to be happy with anything.
As our guy Tevin says, we are fickle fans. You cannot please us anyway.
No, dude,
But
like I can watch a show and feel good about it afterwards. And God bless him, man. I can talk to Chance after and he makes me hate it.
and that's certain. People have certain. I don't know what to say. It's just our takes on it, I
I,
guess.
I think there's people like you and me who just accept everything for what it is and do the best that we can with it.
And yeah, again,
Okay. If it's bad, it's bad. I'll call it bad. Friday's match, that flub, yeah, it happened. It's bad, but you know what? It happens. Not everything is going to be perfect, man. You
exactly.
you could have the best date in the world with this woman, okay, and it can be the most amazing experience that you had from beginning to end. But the second date could just fall flat. It just happens.
And you just got to either accept it or move on.
That's it. And I think what we're stuck in this world now is people just can't move on. They
I
get
think,
stuck in the mud and they want to keep saying the same thing over and over and over. I think this is where I get annoyed, Bear, with all these stuff. This is why I don't listen to it. This is why I don't pay attention to that stuff. Is because it becomes too repetitive, man. I mean, I equate it to a broken record, that's stuck
yeah, you just keep hearing that same
over and over. Like
part.
I'm done with that stuff, dude. I think this is why I get annoyed with it. But let's talk about one more thing.
Yeah,
Mistakes. Okay. And I bring this up because we have Crown Jewel in Perth, Australia, coming up next week. One match is being added to that has no fanfare, that has nothing exciting, about it, making it sound explosive. I'm talking about John Cena versus AJ Styles. This match was booked over Twitter. It wasn't mentioned once until AJ came into the ring and cut a promo on it. The biggest mistake in wrestling of 2025, would you say, was a John Cena heel turn? And a
I say the
secondary
biggest.
mistake, a second part to that was the beating that he took from Brock Lesnar, the style, the way he did it, the way he got destroyed. Considering this man's only got 5 more dates left, does that take away from all of that? Because what are you left with now? You're left with the shell of John Cena.
I think the booking of John Cena this whole year has been crap. They've went 6 different ways in a year, and it doesn't make sense. They started again. I get, just like this is the same argument I use with AEW when people will say they just changed. It made no sense. Well, if you have an injury, you have to shift. You can't go the way you wanted to if someone's injured. With John Cena, WWE made the mistake of inserting The Rock in it.
Yeah.
They knew The Rock was not going to be available, but they did not care. They were like, hey, we just want our numbers up and to get money.
Yeah.
And when it went over, it surprised everybody. I don't know of anyone who was not talking about the John Cena turn.
Mm-hmm.
They compared it to when Hogan turned and went NWO. And rightfully so.
Mm.
Rightfully so. Okay. Then he won the championship. Great. Well, Rock wasn't there. That people got irritated. And Travis Scott, who is Travis Scott? Most people don't know who Travis Scott is.
Honestly, I still don't know who Travis Scott is.
So then they made the mistake to follow up. They went overseas and they let John Cena do the same promo twice when him and Cody were supposed to do the meet again. And they made it came off real bad. It made Cody look super excellent and make John look silly.
Well, let's be honest, man. Since John became face again, he's not won a match. He's right back to where he was before he became a heel.
Right. Now,
right.
And that's the thing to me too. It's like, okay, I get wanting you're a traditionalist. And most people, when they're going out in the business, they are supposed to elevate the people who are staying.
Right.
What good did that do Brock Lesnar?
Well, okay, so when I look at Brock Lesnar,
and the reason why I say that is Brock Lesnar is a part-timer. He doesn't show up. So whether he won or lost wouldn't have made one bit of difference.
I look at it this way. Brock is probably going to be around longer than John. I just didn't understand why they had to do circa 2014 version of this match again. You know, this is what it was. It was basically the same match again.
Exactly.
Literally. This time John had a little bit of offense though. Right?
And from what I heard, that John wanted it this way because the day of, John was supposed to go over from what I heard, and he decided, no, let Brock take it. Now,
if that's what John wanted, then that's fine. You know, I'm not going to sit here and argue. But that being said, does this last 4 or 5 matches of John Cena, do they even mean anything anymore now?
So I was going to get to that point. I think they booked John into a situation where I don't think most people care.
No. I think we're going to get a great match. I think this AJ Styles and John Cena match will probably be the best match of his year.
Yes.
Of this entire run.
And I think they booked themselves in the corner of letting you know how many dates he had left.
Yeah.
They should have never let us know.
No.
And they they successfully have did the Undertaker John Cena WrestleMania bit, where Taker wouldn't be on TV and John had to sell everything. Well, hey, now we got AJ trying to sell everything
Yeah.
for John.
No, I get that completely, but I just feel like, look, man, I don't know, maybe it's just a wrestling fan in me, but if that's what John wanted, then that's fine too. But that being said, I go back to NXT, not this week, but the past week, the Obafemi, the Femi versus Ricky
Oh,
Saints. They call him Ricky
yeah.
Saints right now.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the most unbelievable? And I'm not saying unbelievable, like, wow, that was unbelievable. I'm like, really, that didn't make any sense at all, the way he beat that man.
No. This is the problem, and this is me. Anytime you have a monster heel, you put them in a bad situation, because if you have a challenger who's just average, you can't outpower them, you can't out tough them, you can't come up with something credible to say you beat them out. That look, I can believe that.
Yeah.
He beat him with what I think 4
DDTs.
DDTs.
Yeah. Granted, one was out on the ground on the concrete. I get that.
Yeah, but how many people use DDTs? They're not finishers
But what does that say
anymore.
about What does that say about Trick Williams and guys that could legitimately have beaten him?
That's what I'm saying. It makes it.
Is that a Cody move?
I love Ricky Saints.
No,
I love his character work.
But
He's
was
a
that a
great
Cody
wrestler.
move? Was that Cody's influence?
See, I don't know.
I'm just putting it out there. I could be completely off base. I'm just trying to understand the logic behind it.
Right. And what are you gonna do with Oba now?
Okay, so John Cena just got the shit kicked out of him by Brock Lesnar. Who would be a better dance partner for this guy right now than Obafemi? That's fun right there. That could be something interesting.
But yes,
Oba joins the New Day. Oba comes and joins the New Day.
Well, Oba can do the solo number on John. Beat the hell out of him.
Yeah.
And what did they do with Solo after that? Nothing.
Well, that's it.
And I guess I get. To me, it's like, have some deep, more thought behind what you're doing. Make it make sense, and have long term booking, not just for your main eventers, but for your entire roster. Try to be mindful.
Granted, Obo's held that belt for a long time.
And can you name anybody besides Trick Williams that he's beaten?
Nope.
Because and I love Oba. I think Oba is going to be a great star. He has such a great presence about himself. But I think that he needs a little bit more, and he didn't have enough credible challengers to make him that next guy.
Hey, look, as good as NXT is, there's not many big guys on the roster that are stepping up, right?
Exactly.
Most of these guys that are out there are average looking dudes, and I'm not taking nothing away from them, but they're nothing spectacular. There's nothing there that stands out and makes me go, oh wow. Like, with all due respect, I look at Ricky Saints, I figure I could beat that guy up, right? I'm just saying, just to look.
No, I get what you're saying, but it's still funny.
Right, like I can beat half the NXT roster, really. To be fair, like maybe it's time for Oba to come up. Maybe it's time for him to come up. Maybe him and Omos do something. I'm just saying, because that's another guy who's like fighting everywhere else but where he should be.
Because he's not ready. It's like you said, the protection.
But how much more can you protect them? Like, I call this the Andre syndrome. Right? You can only do so much with Andre at any given time. His biggest run was WrestleMania 3 and between WrestleMania 3 and 6 were his probably best time.
Yeah.
Right. But before that, there's nothing you could do with Andre. He was because of what he was. The same thing. They did that with Omos until he
Yeah.
fought Brock and then he fought Braun and they made him look nothing.
That's the
Right.
problem.
That's the
You
issue there. So what do you do with these big guys? Like everyone's clamoring, we need more big guys. Like the old school wrestling fans, the Chance Michaels, love him. But those guys like the big guys. They don't like the plumber. They don't like the Sami Zayns because they look average. They look, they're not, the casual fan doesn't buy into that. Like I get
well,
that, but that's just the way it is now.
and here's the thing again, like you said, okay, you got the big guys. If he destroys half of your roster, who's gonna look legitimate to beat him?
Well,
And
that's
then
it.
once he takes that loss, you call it the Andre syndrome. I call it the Big Show syndrome. How many
Big Show
times?
though, Big Show showed that he could take losses and stuff, and he became more of a comedy act, right?
Well, see, that's my point. That's my point. The 1 minute he would be losing to, I mean, just Tozawa. He
Yeah,
would get beat down by Tozawa.
yeah.
Then the next week, they need somebody to go for the championship. So I throw Big Show, and then he comes dominant. He beats everybody. And it's like, he just lost to Tozawa. Am I supposed to believe now
Look,
he's just
anytime
taking?
there's a battle royal or a royal rumble, if Omos is in it, by all accounts, he should be the one winning it every year. Right? I mean, that's just the way
Exactly.
it is. So it's almost a detriment to you for being big, strong, and powerful in this particular genre because there's only so much you can do with them in a storyline basis.
Yes.
They're limited. They're
Yeah,
limited because of their size and their power and the way they build them, right? I
yeah,
mean, I don't know what you can do, but that's just wrestling. I think that's going to be an age-old question we're going to deal with forever.
yeah,
It's not going to
definitely.
change. We just have to see how they do it. Where
Yeah.
does Obafemi go from here? I don't know. Like, I mean, what does he do now? Does he challenge Ricky Starks again or Ricky Saints? Does he come in? What do you do? What do you do? Now you know how to
I,
get this guy. You just have to give him a
well,
4 DDTs.
and then here's the funny thing too. They ran into that problem with him when he was the uh
North
North
American.
American champion,
Yeah.
and he lost. He just it was like, what do we do now? Then he mysteriously got hot again
Mm.
and won the NXT title, which everybody was like, wow. Again, I'm not knocking him. I love Oba. I love his
Yeah, yeah,
presentation and
yeah.
everything. I just think that you cannot make everyone killer and then expect us to buy into an average person beating him.
Well, look,
That's the problem.
I like what we're seeing because right now we're seeing Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed finally getting established
Right.
on the main roster. What I've liked about Raw for the last couple weeks, for the last 3 weeks, with the pay-per-view WrestlePalooza as well, right? People haven't really been talking about it. They're talking about how bad the show was, how this was this, and this is that. I didn't look at it from that perspective. I looked at it from this perspective. They finally put over the young talent that needed to be put over because, like I said, like any sports team, like any sports organization, you have your ups and downs where you have to bring in new talent in order for your team to become successful, right? I mean,
Right.
it's just the way sports work. You're going to be hot for 5 years and you have to rebuild a little bit to get
Well,
back to that level. And that's what we're in right now. We're right in the middle of the transitional phase of wrestling on the top tier. Okay. It's hard to believe that Sammy or Seth Rollins and those guys have already been here for almost 15 years on the main roster. Feels like yesterday that I saw them come through the ring and jump
yeah.
over the railing as the Shield, right? So I'm just saying we're getting to that point now where the Breakers, where the Reeds, where the Vaqueros, where the Julias and all these new girls, like you're looking at some of these matches that we're seeing now on that roster. We're getting Lyra Vaquera against Roxanne Perez. I want to see that. Okay, I've seen it a few times, but I want to see that over Becky versus Bailey again.
No, and
I
I
hate to
get
say it, but it's amazing to think that Charlotte, Becky, and Bailey are the old ladies now.
I get that. Um,
So
And
that
I
being
agree
said,
with you. I agree with you. You definitely have to build up your young talent.
you have to. This
You
is
have
it.
to.
This is the growing pain section. This is that part of the season where your team's not 100%, but you have to have faith in the ability that this young talent's going to step up and start doing their part. And we're going to see the emergence of the next generation. Okay. I guarantee you, my friend, my brother, good professor, that when Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and all those guys came out in the beginning, everyone shat on them the way they're shitting on everyone else today.
Yeah,
Let's forget it. Okay.
it's the
When John
game.
Cena, when Randy Orton came out, when Batista came out, everyone shit on the product because it wasn't what they were used to. We
That is it.
as generational wrestling fans, man, and some of us are lucky that we go, let's see, 80s, 90s, 2020. I've been a wrestling fan through 4 generations, as you probably have.
Yes, yes.
Okay. If we really want to throw in the 70s, we can say we've been 6 generational wrestling fans.
Oh
We've
yeah.
seen it all. The stuff that my father watched is not the stuff that I watch. The stuff that I loved is not the stuff that these guys love.
And it's funny that you say that because it's if you look at independent wrestling, you can find the type of wrestling that fits what you like. Because now I love territory wrestling. That's why I like the NWA now. They do territorial stuff. In the South, where I am, you get a lot of old school booking. That's my jam. That hey,
Yeah.
look, if I want hardcore, I know a few companies that do hardcore ECW style
Yeah.
wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why I love and put over independence because when you kind of get frustrated with what the WWE, the AEWs are doing, you can go and find the type of style of wrestling that you enjoy and look. And one of the best things about it too, you may see a guy that you see on this independent show that in 5, 10 years is going to be he may be the world heavyweight champion
No, no,
running
I mean, hey,
WWE.
look, the people that I have interacted with and been able to work with on the indies here, Emma, I got to work with Emma a few times. I got to work with Chelsea Green a couple times. I met Daniel Bryan as he was coming through here. You know what I mean? Kyle O'Reilly, a mainstay of the Vancouver scene, right? So there are a lot of guys. You're right. I've seen and met a lot of these guys, and that's the beauty of independent wrestling. But I think it's also really interesting where we grew up as wrestling fans.
Yes,
Okay,
definitely.
so with yourself and a lot of people from that area, and a lot of people on WSN too, I would have to say, had more access to the territories growing up, had more access to the, Georgia wrestling scene, had access to, world class championship wrestling. One promotion that most people don't remember, UWF.
Oh yeah,
Okay, but
yes.
it just shows you how where my knowledge is with all this stuff, right?
Right.
I remember when the missing link was the champion there. Okay, right? Okay, how many people did you think today I would mention the missing link to you?
No.
Okay, but that's the thing. You guys had more of that experience where we were given the main stuff only because we didn't have that kind of independent territory scene here per
Right.
se. And it
Right.
was here, but a lot of us didn't know about it.
Right.
We had Stampede Wrestling, where most of the WWF
You
roster at that time came from.
came
Right.
from, yes,
So if we
sir.
look at what Vince did with Stampede is basically what they're doing with TNA now,
Yeah.
right? Bad News Allen, the British Bulldogs, Honky Tonk Man. I mean, the list goes on and on. The one name that I wish would have gone there was Gama Singh. He never got it, and he was the heel of that organization.
It, it,
He was the Ric Flair heel of that organization.
I love that we can look back, like you say, and we're talking about where we're from and stuff. And I guess another great thing for me and loving WSN the way I do is to educate wrestling fans who didn't get a chance to get this stuff that we got, to
Brother,
tell them,
I think what we
hey,
should do, you and I should get together. I know we have a couple fires, sticks in that fire, but I want to add another one here. And we'll know if people are watching this right to the end because they'll comment on it and let us know.
right,
Do an old school wrestling pod.
yeah,
Talk about the old school. I don't think anyone talks about it on WSN right now, the old
no,
school.
no. And I think the only old school thing is my history class that if you want to see it, you got to sign up to Patreon, and I'm
Hey,
telling you, it's worth it. Patreon.
yeah, I'd love to check that out, man. I mean,
Um,
I put my money down for that. I stopped buying coffee, so I've saved a lot.
and like you said, it's so many different things. I love educating. I love letting people understand where I come from and
Yeah,
learn more about why I'm the wrestling fan that I am.
yeah.
It's so, like you said, like a lot of people don't realize that there was another company besides WCW/NWA, the AWA.
Yes.
They don't even realize that that's where Hulk Hogan got his major start from. When I mean major, I mean being so popular, and he got to do Hulkamania there before
Because
it was in WWE.
Vern Gagne saw what Senior couldn't see.
Exactly.
And I'm talking Vince Senior.
Yes.
If Junior
And
was in charge, maybe we wouldn't be talking about the AWA.
exactly. And like you said about Vince, everybody has their opinion about Vince, but the one thing you cannot say, Vince knew talent. He knew how to get it, and he went and monopolized the business and made it where these guys and girls can make a comfortable living off of it.
Look, man, if it wasn't, we give all the credit to Vince in the world, but I'm going to be completely honest, man. And I implore people to go check out the Polynesian wrestling that was out of Hawaii.
Yes,
The
yeah,
stadium shows that they ran there with 70,000 people. If you want to look at WrestleMania 1 before WrestleMania 1, then you go back to their last show that they did there, which was basically WrestleMania in a lot of ways.
and to the fact of everybody thinks Vince came up with ideas and did stuff. Well, they don't realize the first pay-per-view was not WrestleMania.
No, WrestleFest.
The first, no, it wasn't even WrestleFest.
Oh, it was before that. Okay.
The first pay-per-view was Starcade.
All right. Okay. Yes. Yes.
And here's the kicker about it. And this is to this day, this is true life understanding this. The winners tell the history.
Absolutely.
That's why you have to research. Look, guys, girls, if you're watching this, check out other podcasts. I know we can be entertaining, we have facts and stuff, but don't be one-sided. Go out there and listen to other people,
Yeah.
because maybe they can tell history that maybe we're not touching on.
No,
But my biggest thing is, don't box yourself in one corner. Be fluent to listen around. Do
absolutely.
research.
Absolutely.
I'm just telling you, me and Sat are telling you history from our point of view, but there's so many other point of views and
Oh, dude, there's so much.
things.
There's so much.
Man, that's why, and I love that's why I love being called Professor Barry, because I get to teach you, give you history lessons.
Can I be TA Samp?
Yes, sir. That's your new name there. So what I love doing that. And then not just history, I give you stuff today. That's why I like,
right,
on my shows, having guests that are younger and just in the business and telling you what they went through to get where they are now and what their goal is, so you can learn.
I was watching.
Wrestling is so much fun.
I want people to go back and watch the episode that you did with the Ohio hardcore. Um, who are they? The Ohio. You had the promoter on a couple of weeks last
Oh,
week.
oh, oh,
Hardcore.
Hart, Cindy Hart, I believe.
No, it's a fellow.
Oh, it was a guy.
Yeah, it's something Ohio wrestling something.
War.
Thank you.
Williams. Thomas
Thomas
Williams.
Williams. Now, when I looked at that, when I joined in and was watching on all our platforms for people out there, I thought of him. I looked at him and go, "Hey, man, isn't that Billy Ray's little cousin
Yeah,
or his brother? Did he look like Billy Ray?"
yeah, he does.
I was gonna put that in the comment, but I said, "No, I'll leave it. I'll just." These are the things I pick up on Bear. I just look at people like, "Hey, wait a minute, he looks like so and so." Hey, like, and then I was there. I think you were trying to get him to bring his wife on, but she's like, "No, no, no."
Yeah.
So that was a good one. But listen, Bear, we could go on for another few hours here. I know we could. In fact, we could probably keep going till tomorrow morning if we really wanted to.
Yeah.
But I got to wrap this up here because I think we've given enough of ourselves to these people. So they need to come back and see us again. Guys,
Yes,
we have some amazing stuff coming up here, Professor Barron and myself, for sure, working on some ideas. We're going to get these up and running here pretty soon. Some of it might be on Patreon, some of it just might be free. We don't know yet, but we're going to figure it out as we go along here. I'm going to give you only that because we need to make sure we have everything the way we want it. Just like the man's shirt, we got to get our ducks in a row.
Yes, sir.
Right. And I like that shirt. It's very cool. So yeah, we'll go from there. But Professor Bear, thank you for filling in here with me. I really, really appreciate it. An amazing conversation. And guys and gals, like I said, we're just two opinions of thousands. Okay. We're not right. We're not wrong. These are just the way we feel. Nothing against any of the people that we've talked about today. Each to their own.
Except Vince Russo, fuck him. But anyway.
Yeah. No, even we don't agree with this comments. We don't agree with it. It is, but that's our opinion.
Exactly.
I mean, everyone's entitled. And I think the one thing that you guys down south really believe in is that First Amendment. Right? So based on that, we showed you today, in my opinion, the right way to use the First Amendment without hurting anybody's feelings, without being disparaging, without being disrespectful. I challenge anybody, if you made it this far into the show, to watch it back and tell us if we said anything negative about anything in our opinions and our views. I doubt it.
And the biggest thing I will always say, we are both very easy to get a hold of. We don't mind having debates because, like I said, we ain't necessarily right, but we ain't necessarily wrong. These are just opinions. Everybody have them. We love talking wrestling, and just have fun with it.
Dude, and look, we had amazing debates today that we just talked about wrestling debates. We didn't talk about affiliations. We didn't talk about this or that. We just talked about what we're seeing in front of us.
Yeah.
And that's what it should be.
And I'm so happy for all the different organizations out there.
Yeah.
Where, as bad as times I do talk about WWE, I watch them. They are part of my history. I'm going to have negative and I'm going to have positive about them. That's all of wrestling.
Bear, I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
It's fun.
I feel the same way. And with me, I will always, and I'm not going to be ashamed for this, and I'm not going to apologize for it. I will always be a WWE guy because that was the main thing that I was fed. Okay. You give me a bowl of Cheerios or Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I'm going to take the Cinnamon Toast Crunch because that was my childhood.
Yes.
Right.
That's it.
Good or bad. If I was like most of the people that are out there right now, I wouldn't be a wrestling fan anymore. I would have walked away 20 years ago.
Oh, man,
Just saying.
I remember them dark times. Good
I'm just saying,
Lord.
but I sat through it all because I love
Exactly.
wrestling. I still tuned in
Exactly.
Monday. When I say I've not missed a Monday Night Raw since its debut in 1993, right? I've not missed an episode. Good, bad, ugly, pre-taped, 83 weeks. I watched it all. I watched WWE before I watched WCW. And what they did in Canada, because the same sports network was running both shows,
Mm-hmm.
it got to the point where they would put one on first and the other one would be on tape delay.
Smart move.
Well, I'm just saying, I was a WWE guy. I'll always be a WWE guy. I'm not going to be ashamed of it because at the time that everyone was a WWE guy or girl with me, they loved it. But when it didn't appeal to them anymore, they walked away. I didn't.
And see,
Right?
and as you are a WWE guy, I'm still
No. Don't get me wrong. I'm a wrestling guy.
no. And I understand what you're saying, but in the flip, I'm a NWA/WCW guy.
Right.
This is what I grew up on. This is what I see.
Exactly.
And I'm not ashamed of it. I mean,
No.
you look at the few titles you can see, they're NWA, WCW titles.
I got something for you.
And that's but that the point is love what you love. See, and there it is, the big gold belt. That's what I'm talking about.
The only reason I have that, and I bring this up, is my father, when he was very, very ill, told me to buy that.
Oh wow.
Right. And it came. I'm not trying to end this on a sad note, but the belt showed up. I paid $500 for that thing back in 2006.
Mm.
Right. But I bought it because my dad told me he really liked that belt. And, he was very ill and we didn't know how much more time we had left with him. But it showed up 4 or 5 days before he went to take his final spot upstairs. So, I've always cherished that belt. That's the one thing. If there is one belt that I will say that I love, it's that to me is the world heavyweight title.
See, that's me too. And I have it. I have one too. Now, matter of fact, it's the first title I ever bought.
Nice.
And it's worn, but I still love it because I still remember the day Ric Flair came on World Championship Wrestling with that title, and he had got rid of the 10 pounds of gold.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with that. And like you, to me, that is the world title. Period. Point blank.
And you know what makes these belts so cool? Because when you buy these replica belts now, they've cheapened them so much. I think I got one of the last ones. Look, this was actual straps.
Yeah.
Velcro. Because
Love
even the ones that they wear on TV have Velcro.
Velcro. Yeah, I hate that. I hate the Velcro.
All right, Professor Bear, I tell you what, man, let's wrap this puppy up here. Let's call it a day. Let's move on.
Sir.
The Cubs, and we're in the first inning. So I'm going to transition myself to the couch. I got a couple hours before I got to go pick up the little one from school. So my name, Bobby Sampson. I'm here with the professor of all professors, Professor Bear. You're listening to Samp and Chance. Professor,
one quick thing, sir.
Yes.
You tell Chance I'm gonna get on with him because I know he got a couple of questions for me, and I love to answer them. So
and he's been saying it as well. I will connect all three of us. In fact, what I will probably do is be here, but I'm going to be at the bottom, and I'm going to have the two of you there, and I just want to sit back with some popcorn. And I want to watch that. I think that's what we're going to do pretty soon here. So let me talk to him, and we'll organize the time, and we'll get that going. But Professor, like I've always said, you can find us both on Google. Is that the best way to describe it? Professor Bear on all platforms. You can find both of us on all major platforms: YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, you name it. Just Google our names, Professor Bear Wrestling, Bobby Sampson, Samp and Chance. You will find our links everywhere. There's no easier way of saying it. Also, guys, you can find us on the WSN network. I can't say it enough. It's an amazing place, amazing people. I tell you what, man, I didn't know this time. If you asked me a year ago, would I be connected to a bunch of brothers down south? And when I'm saying south, I'm not talking, I'm talking south. I'm talking, I'm talking Kentucky. I'm talking Wisconsin. Well, Wisconsin isn't that south, but I'm talking Tennessee. Who would have thought that Bobby
Texas.
Sampson would be in the hearts and minds of those people down there? But you know what? It's happened. And Joe Monroe, Mike D from the 313, Professor Bear, myself, we are the official main event roundtable. We are the original four horsemen of this genre. Guys, you got to check out all our shows. They're amazing. You got to check out all the other shows. We have guys from the UK on our channel creating great content.
We are worldwide, and we're only just going to get bigger.
Absolutely. So you know what, Professor? Thank you, brother, for the opportunities. Thank you for bringing me aboard and seeing the possibilities with us. So thank you so much for that. And a shout out to Brady as well. I don't think the man gets enough credit. Also the co-founder of this organization. I finally said hello to him.
One day I'm gonna kidnap him and make him get on the show. That's what I have to do with Brady. I have to trick him because Brady is the guy who doesn't like to put himself out there.
When I look at Brady
doing podcasts, but I'm gonna get him.
Dude, with that Ron Bass mustache that he's rocking. Right? You saw that. That's the first thing I said to him when I saw him. I said to him, "Hey, nice mustache, dude." And also, I don't know if it's been released, but you're looking has Wrestle
yes,
the video game WrestleBrania episode 2's out.
Yes, I think it is.
Okay, so guys, you're looking at the two champions right here. We kept it in the family. Everyone thought I'd be upset that I lost my title, but you know what? I don't mind because it's still in the same house.
So something funny about that.
Yeah,
I actually didn't win.
I did.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. How come no one told me shit?
I just found out. That I didn't win because Mike V forgot to take some points off from me. You actually are a two-time champion, sir.
Oh shit, man. So what do I get?
we gonna work on it.
Okay, so guys, ladies and gentlemen, you are looking at the two-time champion here. All right, the title stays in Canada, but it stays with the family.
Yes, sir.
It stays in the same house, so it doesn't matter. You know what? Either way, it's still on the mantelpiece when I walked into the room.
I laughed so hard because he told me, he's like, "Burr, I don't want to tell you this, man, but you didn't win." I'm like, "What?" And he told me, I'm like, "Okay, hell, it's still in the family. I'm good."
So I'm interested in the fact that he didn't tell me I won.
Yeah, well, I talked to him in the last couple of days, so that's why.
That's what happens when you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan, right? So that's all I'm going to say about that, right? I mean, right there, I got my Steelers luchador mask. Cool. All right, Professor, let's wrap this puppy up. Let's call it a day. Thank you so much, brother, man. Hopefully we meet up on Joe Monroe's show this Friday, I think, possibly.
Probably not. Going to live wrestling.
Okay, even better, brother, man. I'll hold the fort down. Apparently some new dudes are coming on. So yes, we'll check that out, see what they're all about. I don't know if it's going to be fireworks like last time, but you never know.
No, it's going to be a calm.
You never know with the Joe Monroe show, ladies and gentlemen. The Joe Monroe and the Grand Wizard himself. Characters, to say the least.
Yes.
Characters, to say the least. Absolutely. All right, guys and gals, my name is Bobby Sampson. He is the Professor. This is WSN. This is Samp and Chance. This is a Bear Thoughts. This is everything that you guys ever wanted. Most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, the weather is changing. The days are getting shorter, and I can understand people feeling down or out because of the changes, but don't let that bring you down. Keep fighting hard. Keep believing in your dreams and fight hard for what you want because no one else is going to fight for you.
Amen.
No one else is going to fight for you. And those who are trying to disparage you and put you down and take you away from that are the people that are either afraid to take that leap of faith and chance, or they just don't want to see anyone else succeed because they can't do it themselves. I'll leave you with that. I'm Bobby Sampson. He's the professor. This is Samp and Chance. This is WSN. Have a great day. We will catch you next week.